Hello, everyone, and welcome to welcome to the preamble of Spooky Sundays. We are live in the Newcastle Live Radio studio, and we go live with our show at 8 p.m. Sydney time tonight, which is a few minutes away. So we've got the gorgeous Renata over here. Did you find your scissors?
No. Sorry.
And myself, Anne, and we are the hosts of Spooky Sundays. And oh, look. Bonnie Ann reacted to our post. Hello, station master, mistress.
Hello, Bonnie.
So we have got some great stories tonight. Actually.
We even are absolutely so excited about these stories we have.
I'm
really excited about mine.
Yeah.
Because it's an awesome story.
I just realised that part of my stories are missing. Anyway. Lucky I have my laptop here so I can report via the laptop.
Oops.
I've got my thing on shadows aren't here. I did, but it's all on the computer. Anyway, talk to people. I find my my thing on here, will you?
Yes, so we've got some great stories tonight, of course, everyone. Let us know where you're watching from, which is always exciting and interesting for us. And let us know at the end of the night if you enjoyed the show back on our Facebook page. It would be really great to get some feedback from you. Now, remember, I asked a question today. I can't even remember what that question is. Oh, Ouija boards. What do you think about Ouija boards? Send in your comment to 0490848886. So it's 0490848886. Are Ouija boards dangerous or not? Because that is my news of the week. I have a story that's just happened. And I want you guys to send us your comments about that. So we'll read them out live during the show. And we might talk about it during our Q&A. So if you've got a paranormal question, whether it is about Ouija boards or something else, also send it in. So you've got to text it in to 0490848886, 0490848886, and we will answer it live on the show tonight.
Yes, we're a little bit rough around the edges because we've had a big weekend, but it's not that it was a big weekend. It was a hot weekend. And that just about wiped us out. So what I'm going to do now is I have to start off the live here. So you're going to see this go live, but it won't actually be, our microphones aren't on at this stage. It's because we have to start the live music and everything. So if you're listening on the app, you will notice that the music will start coming through, so you can hear it here. I can't play too much of because otherwise we get done for copyright, but we've got a few bits and pieces and then we will be on. My story tonight is the ABC of shadows, superstitions about shadows, which I was going to read and do some highlights, but never mind, we'll get there. And I have a really interesting story about a magician who helped win World War II.
And I've got a story about vampires. So there you go. Awesome stories, both of them. Now, and you're going to have to listen after 9 o'clock to hear both of them. So you're going to have to come on to the app or press the live stream button on Newcastle Live to listen in, keep listening in, and to listen to all of the music. This one picked the music tonight.
Yeah, my turn.
She picked the music. And if you can't, for some odd reason, listen to the whole show, you can catch it on podcast on Spotify later on during the week. I think they come out on Tuesdays as a podcast, so you can catch up on them then. My story is fabulous. I think my story is more fabulous than your story is fabulous.
Sure, Renata.
Just let us know whose story is the most fabulous tonight, because we're both really keen to tell our stories.
Well, I'm picking my World War II magician one as my top story.
Yeah, what ifs.
All right, we've got to get ready to go live. Oh, my chair's on the headphones again.
Now
Still
remember, tell us,
lurking cough.
tell us where you're watching from, whether it's local, whether it's overseas. We actually had someone come on and tell us that they're watching from South Africa.
And
Avril.
Danielle is watching from Ireland. Hi, Danielle.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, see you in 9.5 weeks.
Oh, it's so exciting. So exciting. And don't forget, everywhere we go,
Here we go.
during our trip overseas, we will be posting photographs, doing lives and recording. So join us.
Good evening to all the spooky people in the world out there. It is Spooky Sunday time with your hosts, myself, Anne Rekovich, and Renata Danielle. Or Daniel. Yeah, don't call Renata Daniels. She gets upset.
No, there's no S on the end of my name.
I've called you Renata Daniels for years, you know.
Oh.
I hope you've all had a fabulous spooky week. We've had a very full-on spooky weekend, and this afternoon we were working on a new project, which we're actually super excited about. And what I did is I made Renata watch the process. So we put layers on it,
Yes, we layered.
and we are probably going to
reveal it. Yes, you'll know about it next week.
We'll reveal it to the world on Tuesday night during the Diary of a Ghost Hunter vodcast on YouTube. So you'll hear about it on the podcast on Tuesday morning, but it will be inside of, for the first one, to give you a taste. Anyway. Right, Renata, do you have some stories for us?
I do.
Oh, tell me, do.
Oh, and by the way, this story is about Ouija boards. I know you're not going to go up in flames.
Oh no, people are going to have to get their rosary beads out and hang on to them while you tell the story.
This story is about Ouija boards. It's just literally happened a week or so ago. It was in all of the newspapers, but we have questions about the Ouija board. We want to know what you think about the Ouija board, so please tonight send in your comments to 049084 888 text them in to 049084 888. We want to know whether you think Ouija boards are a good opportunity
for a possession.
Okay.
I've been possessed about 12 times in my house as well, about 12 of them.
Yes.
Right, tell us your story, Renata.
Yes.
I won't interrupt.
So seance, this says seance goes wrong. That was a big thing. Seance goes wrong. 28 girls.
Oh, what could go wrong with 28 girls?
28 girls hospitalised with anxiety after playing with Ouija board in Columbia School. Oh. The young girls were hospitalised with signs of fainting and anxiety. Many parents have expressed their concerns about the usage of Ouija boards in class.
In the class?
Yes.
I like their teacher.
Yeah. Wow. So this is in Bogota. Nearly 30 girls were rushed to a hospital in Colombia after a session of the Ouija board game went wrong.
What can go wrong with a Ouija board? Surely.
28 girls, yeah.
As many
as 28 girls passed out with anxiety while using the seance set at Galeras Educational Institution in the Colombian city of Pasto. Sounds Italian. Anyway, the girls were hospitalised with signs of fainting and anxiety. There were 28 possible cases of anxiety. You've said that many times. I think.
No, right. That's the third time I've heard her say that. All right, go
on. In school students, said the head of the Galeras. Given the reported cases, a series of comments were unleashed on the community that rather than helping to resolve the situation, led to confusion and an adverse environment for our work, Torres added.
I think we need the heading for this topic to be 28 possessions.
The head also urged parents not to jump to conclusions.
Not the body, just the head.
Before the medical evaluation results came out, the parents called for action. Many parents have expressed their concerns about the usage of the Ouija board in class. One parent said, I work here in the hospital kiosk and every day I see 3 or 4 children arrive after fainting. Parents, you have to move. Investigate what's happening at school because our children cannot continue in this situation.
No.
Our children always have a good breakfast, and it cannot be said that what's
Hang
happening
on.
is due to lack of food.
Okay, how did we just jump from Ouija board possession anxiety to what they had for breakfast?
Well, I think what they're trying to say here is that maybe some of the parents have kind of said it's not about the Ouija board at all. It's the fact that half of these kids are starving.
Ah, right.
And have not even had breakfast.
Oh,
That's
and like
why,
all the girls, like they're trying to stay thin and lose weight, probably.
Yeah. So
Thanks, world, for that.
yeah. So one of the mothers has said, look, we feed our kids a good breakfast. It's absolutely nothing to do with the food that they're eating or not eating. It's got to be with the Ouija board.
Yep.
Apparently, now I haven't seen it, but there's a bit of a video of girls being held in their father's hands as they're being dragged to the hospital.
I wonder if they're being dragged to the hospital and they're kicking and screaming because they don't want to go.
So this is not the first time young children
Are they carrying them in unconscious?
had to be hospitalised for playing the Ouija board. Last year in November, 5 teenagers were reportedly admitted to a hospital after they played with the Ouija board. Teachers at the Agricultural Technical Institute of Hato have found at least 11 students aged between 13 and 17 passed out in the corridors of the complex. All these teens were suffering from violent vomiting, abdominal pain and muscle spasm.
Hang on.
That sounds like food poisoning.
Shane has come up with a good question here. How can 28 girls touch a Ouija board at the one time?
Oh, there must have been more than one.
There was a ripple effect.
And this is known now. There's a name for this. This is there's a hysteria. It's called the hysteria.
Yeah, it's like a group hysteria or something like that. Yeah.
So all you need is one or two of the girls to react in a bad way, and that will ensure that the rest of the group goes slightly. Well, number one, they're going to have fear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because there's no one in control to say, now, come on, settle down.
And if a couple of them, and they're like the leaders, it's like the pack leaders, if they are hysterical and feeling it, then you've got to feel it too, because otherwise you'd be left out.
Yeah, and I mean, how can you sit there and go, nothing's going on when everyone else is going?
I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
Yep.
I can guarantee that, like, if we'd set up an experiment here now in the studio, and we had said we've organised to have this experiment tonight, where we're going to reach out through the ethereal network, the spiritual realm, to make you feel like you've got a headache, and that's us reaching out to you to know that you have the gift to sense our presence because you've got a headache. Then people would be texting in saying, I've got a headache, I'm picking up on it. And it's that power of suggestion.
Yep.
And I think some of the girls would fake it because they needed to be part of the group. And the others would start to pick up on things and imagine that they're feeling it when it's not really there.
And you've got all of the said biases already within society about Ouija boards. Now, we see this all the time when we're doing our experiments in at Maitland Jail.
Yes.
Like there is one particular place where we have just placed a Ouija board. We don't even talk about it. It's just there. And people will walk in, they'll take one look, and they'll walk out going, can't go in.
Can't go into that room.
Can't go in. And we always ask, like I always ask, is there something wrong? Is there a reason why you can't go in? And it's because the Ouija board is there.
Yeah.
And in the small period of time we have them, we can't go into a long explanation about why they shouldn't be fearful, but you can see there is a great tension for some people going in. They just won't. They won't.
Well,
and that's okay.
I have to talk about an experienced investigator who has used the Ouija board many times, who flatly refused to use it not long ago.
Or was it a different Ouija board?
I'm
There's
sure
a different board.
There's any excuse.
It's
Renata Daniel,
it was a different board.
who terrified the people present because you're going, I'm not touching that thing. I'm not sitting down at the table. And they're going, what the hell? But you're supposed to be experienced in this. If you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now, people, you're going to have to wait and see what that was all about. But there is a new episode of Devil's Advocate coming out very soon. We've seen the rough edit. Well, I've seen the rough edit. And let me tell you, it's a cracker.
It's a cracker, all right.
Renata refuses to go on a board.
Yes. Yep.
We won't reveal any more. They're going to have to watch it.
Yeah.
Now, we've had a few people texting in already. Thank you so much. So there's a couple of ways that you can listen to the show tonight. Renata, do you want to tell them about that?
Yes. Well, you're listening to it now. If you're
Well
on
done.
here,
But they might be watching the live feed. that we've
But
got going.
yes, you can actually download the Newcastle Live app and listen to the show from that. Or you can go to Newcastle Live webpage, and if you scroll down just a little bit past the banner, you'll actually see this green area that says streaming now. And there's a big button. All you need to do is press that, and you'll be listening to whatever is on the station at that particular point in time, which is us right now.
Yes, and if you would like to text us, you can actually text us from that app as well. But don't send an email because we can't access those emails. You'll need to send a text through. But we are, I think, we've got the first award for tonight. And that would be Catherine. Zeta Warrior Princess has got in first at 1:27 p.m. this afternoon.
Good on you, Catherine.
Thank you. And a shout out to Robert, who has the dreaded Macona, as we like to call it, and is suffering from it. I've only just started to feel human in the last 2 days. I really couldn't shake it. It went into my sinuses and it was revolting.
Now, we also have a Maitland Jail all-nighter coming up next month, May the 6th, I believe it is. And when we go to a break for our first song, I'll check how many tickets we have left. We sold out.
Many.
Yeah, we sold half the tickets in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So we've got just a handful of tickets left. And I'll let you know after the break how many we have.
Now, we've got some other very exciting news that's happening in the world of ghost hunting, haven't we?
Oh, yes. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that during Q&A as well.
Oh, okay. We're going to save it, are we?
Oh, I think so. But there's some disturbance in the field.
There's disturbance in the force.
And it's a paranormal field. All things are going down.
Love and light. And paranormal unity.
Paranormal unity
and all that absolute crap. Do you believe in paranormal unity, our beautiful people that are listening and watching right now? It's where the paranormal community supports each other, they rally together, they lift each other up. And, you know, if somebody's running a tour somewhere, you say, look, this wonderful team is running a tour in this location, support them, go do what they're doing. Do you believe in paranormal unity? Crickets. I need a sound effect for crickets. Yes. All right. So we might head to a song. And
let's go to a song.
And then we will be back after this song with the ABC of superstitions. Back soon.
All right. I'm going to check how many tickets we have left.
All right. Yes, Emmy, you know. Hello, Danielle, Professor Danny. Hope you had a good time.
So nice to see you last night, gorgeous.
I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. I got sort of holed up the other end of the room. I couldn't get to you to say goodbye. When I looked up, you were gone. Oh, Cheryl's with us. Hi, ladies. Just made a cuppa Sunday night, so no vodka work tomorrow. I love it. Now, we're going to stay on for this next one because I've got to read my notes off here. I've left them all at home. I'm just not going to be organised at all. Wrap my arms around you. Yeah, we get in trouble sometimes for the sounds getting picked up, and it goes onto YouTube, and then they block us. So we're trying to hide the sounds a little bit. I might go down to here. It's hot in here tonight. Aircon's on 20, but it's hot.
All right, so we have 11 tickets left for our all-nighter.
2/3
at the
gone.
moment. So 2/3 gone. 11 tickets left. Grab your tickets if you want to come along. It's going to be the 6th of May with, I think it's an 11 o'clock start till 6 a.m. in the morning.
And we organise some activities. So I think it kicks off at 11 p.m, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll organise some activities, and then we give you a couple of hours of free time to go and do your own thing. So if you've got your equipment and you want to go and do some investigating, that's your opportunity to go do that. And I'm hoping very shortly Maitland Jail is going to announce a very special event for paranormal teams. Just teams.
I'm hoping that it's up
It's
already.
got to be up soon, because I think they're emailing specific teams. So if you would like the opportunity for your team to investigate Maitland Jail, please send us an email and we'll pass it on to the jail and they will let you know what's happening. So I've got my notes up. So I won't be able to. Oh, Scott's. Oh, okay. Scott is now very, very interested in everything. I think the table tipping is what shifted his perception. Oh, thank you, Danny. Oh, it's already up on the jail website. Awesome. Thank you, Emmy. Emmy is our PA. Send us some love. So basically, I think we can tell people what it is now. If you can get a group of, you sort of get to investigate the jail all by yourself. So you pay for a group of up to 10 people. So up to 10, you can have one person, you can have up to 10 people. You bring in your own equipment, you get 4 hours of investigating in the jail. But we've done it so that you get an hour in a block all to yourself. So you'd have a wing with no tour guides, nothing. Just your team goes in and investigates for an hour. And then that team would move around into the next location. So you might go to B wing next. You have the whole of B wing for an hour. So we have the ability to have 4 teams in 4 different areas, and they get to investigate 4 locations for 1 hour, and you don't hear the other teams. You just have yourself. So it feels like you've got the jail to yourself. Yes, you are confined to that block for an hour. You can't wander the jail, but you get a quality lockdown experience of exploring that location. So if you want to know more about that, head over to the Maitland Jail website. I think it was $600 for the 4 hours for up to 10 people. So if you get 10 people, that's $60 each for 4 hours at the jail.
That's never going to be that price again.
No. This is
It's
a one-off
really
at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because to hire the jail is over $2,000. So it's a really cheap way to do it. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this. Oh. We've got a couple of ads and then we're on. Yep, 600. Thank you. Yeah, because I know I would have killed for that opportunity to be able to go to a jail and be able to access that, to sit down and do your EVP sessions and your photographs and some experiments, and not have tour groups with you or people you don't know. So, I mean, I'd even love, if I had the money, I would just book it for myself, one person to explore the whole thing by yourself. It'd be fabulous. But people have to realize it's not guided. They're not provided with equipment. You've got to bring your own equipment. We're there to help if you need help with explaining anything, but we won't be guiding you or doing experiments. We're back on. And you're back with Spooky Sundays with your hosts Anne and Renata, and it's all thanks to Thrive Broking. So if you're looking for finance without all the spooky, scary stuff, you need to talk to Emma at thrivebroking.com.au and tell her that the spooky ladies from Spooky Sundays have sent you in. But she seriously will guide you through the process, and because I know sometimes when you have to deal with finances, it can be very, very overwhelming, but she is very patient. All right, so now I have the issue in that I don't know how I'm going to do this now. I have left my notes at home for my next segment. So I'm trying to angle the microphone. All right, I'm going to have to move the microphone so I can see my notes on the computer that's next to me. So we're doing the ABC of superstition. Stop laughing at me, Renata.
Oh, I'm so glad it's you and not me.
Oh, well, look, at least I had my laptop here. Otherwise, it could have been really awkward.
Oh,
it would
very,
have been
very
coming off my phone.
Very awkward.
Yeah, we were a little bit rushed, and I ended up having to do some work on the Devil's Advocate today. So I've been revising audio and footage and stuff like that. And
No excuses.
no, I had no time.
No excuses.
I did print it up. It's just on the printer at home.
Yeah.
All right, so there are loads of superstitions about shadows. Do you know any of them, Renata?
No, none whatsoever. I've never heard about superstitions about shadows.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go through a few of them here this evening.
Mhm.
I hope you enjoy them. So, I'm going to try and find it now. I hate doing it off my computer. There's a superstition to do with shadows and coffins.
Oh, of course there would be.
So all over the world, there are people that warn you to keep your shadow out of the way of an open coffin, because if your shadow crosses the dead person within that open coffin, your shadow will be buried with that person forevermore.
Oh, that's just horrible.
I
That's
know.
horrible. Who thought that one up?
I don't know. Apparently, it's in the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology.
Mm.
And there's a little quote there. A wealth of lore, legend, and superstition surrounds both the reflection and the shadow the world over. Now, they've got some more examples here.
Mhm.
The Zulu believe it is dangerous to look into the dark pool lest he be captured by the indwelling spirit.
Mm.
While the shadow, the darker, you know how we talk about the darker part of it, do you shadow work?
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry, the darker other self followed the man everywhere, might get lost or injured within this said dark pool.
Mhm.
Now, at a Chinese funeral, you've got to take great care to ensure that no mourner's shadow is trapped inside the coffin. So that must be a Chinese one. While it is the practice of children everywhere to stamp gleefully on each other's shadow, play acting the ritual killing of the soul. I used to do that as a kid. You jump on other people's shadows.
Yes, but we didn't know that was like
killing
a
their
ritual.
souls.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Bonnie, there's the
What have
title
we
for
done?
that one. Soul, was it what we say? The shadow killing children of earth. Something like that. I don't know. So archetypes, Renata. We're talking about shadow archetypes now. What's an archetype, firstly?
Oh God, that's hard. It's kind of like a characteristic, a type of that all of us human beings can exhibit from time to time. And these archetypes are sort of it's if you imagine gods and goddesses, for example, they are actually archetypes. Yeah, sorry, they're not real, but they're archetypes of what we aspire to be, or our darker side and what comes out. Like, for example, Loki being someone who is an archetype.
Mhm.
He is the trickster.
Mhm.
Yep. And so he plays tricks on everyone, and he's hard to manage and all of that sort of stuff. So when you exhibit that archetype, you can be saying, well, I'm exhibiting that the characteristics that Loki would have.
Now, what they're talking about here is your shadow archetype. So it would be an interesting experiment for everyone to let themselves cast a shadow and look at the shadow on the ground and think, what does my shadow represent?
Mine looks like a snowman.
That's not what I said.
This tiny little head and this humongous body. So
That's not what I meant.
It's a killer snowman archetype.
I've got a song coming up for you later. So, you know, that you talk about your shadow self. If you had to look at your shadow self, would you think that that's the good self or the bad self or the mischievous self? They talk about the fact that everyone has some sort of shadow archetype.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not your physical shadow, but it's the darker
it's the
personality.
other side of you that you're always fighting to control. Yes.
Yeah, mine's the one that likes to eat carbs. For those who cast no shadow, apparently you have sold your soul to the devil. So at midday every day when the sun is directly overhead and you don't cast a shadow, you have sold your soul to the devil.
Okay.
Yeah. Tradition states that the person who has sold his or her soul to the devil loses their shadow. This meaning being without a shadow, the person no longer exists as a spiritual being or has a soul.
Oh, dear.
The devil ceases to create the shadow of that person because it no longer exists. So they've stolen your shadow archetype.
I know.
Oh, geez, it gets a
terrible.
bit dark, isn't it? At least we're not killing animals this week. Damage to your shadow. There's a widespread belief that if you cause injury to another person by stepping on or symbolically cutting the shadow. So they're saying if you go and stomp on that person's shadow, or if you get an axe and throw it into that shadow, that you are symbolically sending that karma to that person.
Right. Okay.
Are you enjoying it?
No.
Oh. The devil gets your shadow. If the devil can't take over your body, he's going to go for your shadow. Geez, I wonder who wrote these articles, because there's a lot of religious connotations here, isn't there? There is an old superstition that when the devil cannot succeed in getting a man, or a woman, thank you, himself, he will sometimes steal his shadow. They're talking about the German poet Chamisso, sounds Japanese, embodies superstition in the most famous story of Peter Schmel. I've been learning German, and I really Schlemitl, who sold his shadow, and then we're still on to the devil. All right, let's leave the devil and the shadows. Let's go to shadows while you're fishing.
Yeah.
I'm over that. Shadows while you're fishing, according to fishermen.
I'm not going to allow you to talk in Germany at all. You're just going to.
Oh, and should I go?
No.
Should I go?
No.
I've been practicing on Duolingo for 103 days now. I'm getting good. Sorry, if the shadow. You must keep your shadow out of the water, or guess what happens?
You'll drown. The fish will run away.
That's right. You scare the fish away.
Oh.
But that's not a superstition. My dad actually used to tell me that, because if your shadow is cast on there, the fish go, oh, there's something above us. There's going to be a big seagull. It's going to come down and eat us. So they'll all bugger off. But I like this one. Shadow of a redhead. Watch out. I hope you haven't done this, because you're in trouble.
Shadow of a redhead.
Shadow of a redhead. It is bad luck to step over the shadow of a redhead.
Oh.
And my hair at the moment is as red as it can be. So I hope you haven't stepped over my shadow. You've got to step on it, apparently. No, don't do that. You'll take my soul. Shadow in the mirror. If you accidentally spot your shadow while standing in front of a mirror, you've got to expect news of somebody dying.
Right. Okay.
No? You don't like that one?
No. I don't like these superstitions at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
If someone broke something onto which the shadow or reflection appears, people believe that their soul was harmed.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that one. I think that will do. Oh, hang on. It's a custom for magicians on the Indonesian Isle of Wetar to injure a man by stabbing his shadow with a spear or hacking at it with a sword. Like that one here, the shadow is used as some sort of witch doll or voodoo doll, but instead of using pins, spears or swords are used to cause the victim. You think they might notice that there's somebody standing behind them where their shadow's been cast, stabbing at it with swords and spears?
I think so.
It's a bit of a giveaway.
I think
I
so.
think voodoo dolls are somewhat more subtle.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
That was a weird one. That's very weird. Anyway, there's my ABC of superstitions.
Thank goodness we're getting to the end of the ABC.
Oh, wait till I start my next batch.
That's going to be about ghosts, though.
Oh,
I
is
know
it?
the ABC of ghosts.
Oh, maybe not. Anyway, we're going to head off to a song. I actually had a different version of this one picked, but we've ended up with the traditional version, which is fine. We can all have a sing along, and everyone will be back after this. A bit of Boney M. Rasputin. All right, beautiful people, we've got to leave you now because we've got to get over and, oh, Peter Pan. Yes, that's right, the shadow. I forgot about all that one. Yes, when Auntie Nata does shut down on me when I do the ABC of superstitions, and it's getting more obvious every week. Last week, she got a phone out and started scrolling through TikTok. She doesn't banter with me. She's just bored. Anyway, thanks for putting that out, Professor Danny. You've made my night. At least I pretend to listen. All right, beautiful people. We will be back. Oh, well, we're going to keep going with the show. We finish at 10 o'clock Sydney time.
And we've got our best stories to come. Our best stories to come. So join us. Join us.
Sorry, that's just a trigger finger. It pops up every now and then.
And remember, if you have something to say about Ouija boards, 0490848886. That's our next subject.
All right, guys, chat to us on the texting, or we'll see you on the dark side. And remember to be frightfully good. Bye.